Hello and welcome to the last edition of MBC this school year. Technology is becoming more available for use in classrooms, and many teachers in our district are taking advantage of these opportunities.
Natalie Sears shows us how a Mason Intermediate teacher has taken technology in her classroom to the next level.
Have you ever wondered what it was like to look off the top of the Eiffel Tower or walk on the Great Wall of China? Some students at Mason Intermediate have been given the opportunity to have this unique experience within the walls of their classroom. 6th grade social studies teacher Valerie Spaeth purchased a class set of the new Google Expeditions to help engage her students in her class.
We currently just got VR headsets from the PTO, so we're using that technology to use with expeditions to take kids across the globe in 6th grade social studies. So essentially what we do is we have these little devices. They're like phones, but they don't have calling capabilities. They plug into a headset, and then the students just put on the headset. I then have a tablet that I can control what the kids are seeing. I can prompt them with questions. There's quiz questions, and I can control where they go. So the purpose is, one, to take social studies kind of up a level, kind of just from your basic textbook where it's kind of boring for kids sometimes. So it's more engaging, especially in 6th grade social studies. We focus on the Eastern Hemisphere. And for a lot of kids, not having ever been to Japan, they can actually see Mount Fuji. You can experience the Great Wall of China. So it gives them a personal connection.
Valerie Spaeth's students also believe in the benefits of the modern technology in their classroom. For them, it creates a different learning environment that allows them to have a break from the traditional classroom.
What I like most about Google Expeditions is that you can have a 360 view and you feel like you're in the world itself.
It's very realistic and you feel like you're there. Like you can actually see what's around you instead of just learning about it. You can kind of experience what it's like there.
I think it will help me learn better by making me understand more about what we're learning in class.
Like you can learn about the culture by the visuals.
The coolest place I've probably been is maybe Paris.
On the ISS or on top of the Burj Khalifa.
Mount Fuji and like Japan. I think that's a cool place.
Today, Mount Fuji. What I learned was that many things that you think are very simple are not. They're very complicated and they can have more meaning than what you think they are.
A learning experience doesn't have to come from textbooks and lectures. When you're transported into another reality, it opens up a whole new world full of adventure. I'm Natalie Sears, MBC News.
Wow, I would love to be able to try those out.
Yeah, it's such a unique experience within the walls of their classroom.
Sometimes I think it would be nice not to have to drive to or from school with how crazy traffic can get.
Yeah, Millie Ortega went out to the parking lots to see how students are tackling this issue.
Thanks, Ellie. With over 3,500 people commuting to MHS daily, it's no secret that traffic here is an absolute disaster. In places like Foxfield, Corwin-Nixon, and Lakeside Drive, you can expect a delay of 7 to 10 minutes, give or take a few hours if it's raining. But make sure you say your prayers, because those student drivers don't pay attention. Now let's cut to Peyton Krell on our MBC Doppler. Peyton?
Thanks, Millie. I'm right above Senior Lot off of Corwin-Nixon Drive, where it is 7 and traffic is just starting to pick up. As we move to the distant lots, they almost appear to be full. Pull lot typically fills up at 6:35, so setting up a tent overnight is probably your best bet to park here. Even if you park in a senior spot, you're still bound to need extra commute time. Senior Tyler Evans has already thought about ways to save a few extra minutes on his morning commute.
Yeah, I have 5 different ways I get to school. If I leave too late, I normally have to get here right on Snyder, and then I go cut through the middle school over there. On my late arrival days, because I get to come in late 2 days a week, I normally go a different route. And if there's a car in front of me, I'll cut through the neighborhood. If there's not, I'll go straight. But then if there's more cars at the stop sign, I turn left a little bit farther down the road instead of the neighborhood. It just all depends on what time I leave and how many cars there are.
Thanks, Peyton. As soon as the 2:15 bell rings, World War III begins. You're going to want to give yourself 6 minutes to get your car out in 3rd lot. And don't worry about going to the gym, because you're definitely going to get your cardio fix in for the day. Traffic can stretch as far as Bethany and Western Row Road, maybe even Southern Florida on a good day. That's the traffic. Back to you, Ellie.
Thanks, Millie. Prom was really fun this year. I wish I could go back to it.
I agree. But one student here decided to take the prom experience beyond herself when she won money in a contest and decided to give back.
Isabel Marotta has the story.
When some students dream of the perfect prom, they dream of the perfect dress or maybe even the perfect date. But for Erin Stevens, the dream wasn't for herself. Instead, she dreamed of making Daylight Prom, a prom held for students with special needs, the best. Ramsey personality Anthony O'Neill hosted a contest to win $1,000 in order for one student to rock out at their prom.
I travel around the country speaking to high schools all over. And so what I wanted to do was prom and homecoming and all this type of good stuff. So I said, I want to give away $1,000 to someone who really wants to rock out at their prom. So I'm thinking I'm going to get someone that's going to want to get a dress, a dope limo, and just like have a party. And all of a sudden, this lady comes to me, this young lady, and she says, hey, I don't want it for me. I actually want to win the money and give it back to special needs students and let them rock out at prom. And so we probably had about 1,300 applicants who submitted in, and great people, but Erin, she won it. And I'm so proud of her because all this around us is going on because of her. I'm just happy I was able to bless her so she can be a blessing to others, and they are blessing my day with these smiles and looking good. And so I'm just happy to be here at this school because it's the #1 school in the country.
After consideration, Stevens realized that if she won the money, she would want it to go towards making Daylight Prom special.
I ended up talking about how I spend a lot of time down here with the kids that have special needs, and how I just really, really enjoy spending time down here. I went to homecoming with them this past year, and it was awesome. And so I kind of talked about how if I won the money, I would use it to make their Daylight Prom really special. We are actually, I got a party bus for us, so we are going to be driving down in a party bus, and we're going, and it's a bunch of different kids that have special needs in the area, and like we're all getting together, and just it's like every other prom except it's for kids that have special needs, and it's all about them, and it's going to be awesome.
Sometimes winning a contest seems next to impossible, but with a vision for a bigger cause, Erin Stevens proves it can happen. I'm Isabel Marotta, MBC News.
Politics are a huge part of this country and how it works, but how much do high schoolers really know about the government?
Matthew Vorbroker decided to find out.
Coming off the new election, news is being reported on 24/7. But how much do the students at Mason High School really know about our government? We hit the halls to find out.
Pence.
I know Donald Trump, but then I have no idea.
I'm drawing a blank here.
See, I don't need this.
Is it Mike Pence?
Is it?
Yeah.
Mike Pence. Is it Pence?
Joe Biden. Yes, I have no idea.
Mike Pence.
Yeah.
How do you know?
Pence.
Yeah, that guy.
Mike Pence.
Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, and George Washington.
George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, John Adams.
George Washington. I think that's about all I know. George Washington, John Adams, and Thomas Jefferson.
George Washington and 2 I don't knows.
George Washington.
John Adams, Thomas Jefferson.
Legislative, judicial, and executive.
Superintendent and House of Representatives.
The congressional parts. Legislative, judicial, and executive.
Senate and House of Representatives.
The House and the Senate.
The Senate and the House.
I have no idea. You got the Senate, right? And then you got the House of Reps. Ooh, hey, okay.
I think there's 7.
50.
I want to say 7. Is there more than one? I don't know. 10.
20?
I have no idea.
Something central. I'm guessing. I have no idea.
Not sure.
District of Columbia.
District of Columbia.
District of Columbia.
Yeah.
13.
12.
4th. 21.
11.
Was he a president?
I don't think so. He wasn't a president.
How do you know that?
Whether you think Benjamin Franklin was a president or you don't know what TC stands for, some of us might need to revisit some basic U.S. history. Until then, I'm Matt Vorbroker, NBC News.
As seniors are coming up on our last few days of high school, we tend to look back and reflect on the past 4 years.
Freshman year, some students wrote letters to their senior selves. Haley Dardis has the story.
4 years ago, MHS math teacher Mark McCormick gave his freshman homeroom an assignment. The task? Write a letter to your senior self. 4 years later, those students are finally opening their letters, and as they gather for their final homeroom, they are able to read the words that they wrote from a time when they were just entering high school.
The first homeroom that we had with them, there was a list of items that was suggested that we do to kind of get to know these students a little better. And one of the items said, have the students write a letter to themselves that they'll open 4 years down the road. And the more I thought about that idea, I was like, that's really neat because, far too often folks just drift through life, so to speak. And I kind of described to the kids, it'd be really neat if you could sum up in a letter to yourself what you hope to accomplish over the next 4 years, whether that's academically, socially, activity-wise, thinking that, it might give you something as a goal to work towards. And then 4 years down the road, you open this letter and you see if your dreams came true. I did find their reactions very interesting. I saw kids laughing. I saw kids reflecting on just what they read. And I'm sure now that they're seniors, they're thinking more about, wow, this did come true, or maybe it didn't come true. And it's just a very enlightening process.
Like the rest of their homeroom, seniors Rosie Pereno and Sailor Norton couldn't wait to open their letters and take this opportunity to reflect on how they've changed over the course of high school.
I was really excited to come in and see that I had a letter to myself, and I was excited to see what I wrote. I was a little nervous for what I wrote, but it ended up being just kind of funny and kind of cool to see my handwriting, especially freshman year. And I think it's a really cool thing that Mr. McCormick kept all of them and for us to read and stuff.
At the beginning of high school, I was super awkward, and I'm still fairly awkward, but I've made a lot of awesome friends and a lot of awesome memories. I was looking forward to this. I was actually just out of homeroom and I ran back in to grab it because I was so excited to read it because I wanted to see what I said as a dorky freshman.
Just as the seniors are getting ready to leave Mason High School and start the rest of their lives, Mr. McCormick gave them the opportunity to see just how far they've come since freshman year. Even though they may not have gotten that 4.0 GPA or found a significant other, it's fun to look back on an important time filled with meaningful memories. I'm Haley Dardis, NBC News.
For many students, playing a sport on the ground is tough enough, but one student at MHS is elevating her talents to the next level. Alexandra Lisa has the story.
Many student athletes put in extensive hours to perfect their sport and find themselves constantly on the field after school hours. One student, however, has dedicated herself to a sport that requires her to practice off the ground and over our heads.
Sophomore Andrea Friesen has been taking aerial silk classes for the past 2 years at Kids First. Though she originally started cross-training for equestrian vaulting at the gym, she has since taken up gymnastics, pole vaulting, and aerial silks, and says there is something that separates aerial silks from other sports.
You have to have the balance and you have to have the knowledge in your head of knowing how many wraps you do so that you don't come undone. And you need the strength to be able to hold yourself upside down. Another thing that sets it apart is really being a performance sport. So you can express yourself and make a routine to music and add some other people in there too and do some acro tricks.
Friesen has progressed far enough in the sport to be qualified to teach younger athletes, which she says adds to the experience.
To be an instructor, you need to know how to do it yourself because it's really hard to explain to someone what you need to be doing if you don't know how many times you wrap it around your waist. Being flexible with how you explain things. So one kid might understand it if you tell them, wrap your foot from the outside to inside 2 times. But another kid you might need to say, okay, your leg goes out straight to the side. Now bend it in. Now bring it behind you. Now put it out to the side again. And just knowing each kid.
People who practice aerial silks have to have the strength and stamina to hold themselves in positions which most people can't manage. But the only thing they need to be stronger than their core is their passion for the work that they do. I'm Alexandra Leza, MBC Sports.
We'll be right back after this brief interruption from our mock commercial team.
Has this ever happened to you?
What's your favorite Justin Bieber song?
I don't listen to him. He's not really my thing.
Do other people's taste reek of garbage so irredeemably disgusting that it clouds their vision from seeing the right way to live their lives? You try to spend your time helping your friends to live correctly, but they're just too stubborn.
Wish I didn't have to deal with how incorrect everyone is.
Now you can!
What?
Introducing the opinion filter. Now you only have to hear the opinions that matter. Yours! Just listen to the testimonies from these satisfied customers.
Oh, hey. See, I'm a dog person, and I think the cat people are the reason for sadness in the world. But for some reason, there's so many cat people. But thanks to Opinion Filter, the internet consists of one thing I love.
Oh, hi. People used to tell me I should get my wardrobe from somewhere else other than Spencer's Gifts. But now with these opinion filters, everyone thinks my jammy jams are off the chain.
Dude, you're such a
Awesome person. Never again will you lose a debate.
I mean, if you think about it, the South really did win the Civil War.
I completely agree. You're so smart. Other people's perspectives can be stressful. It can be uncomfortable talking to someone with a different viewpoint than you. But life isn't supposed to be uncomfortable. So get yourself an opinion filter, because if you can't rock them, block them. Call the number on your screen today.
As the 2016-2017 season wraps up, we couldn't leave you without some more of the highlights and the lowlights from the spring sports season. Eric, Michael, and Ashley Singleton bring you the good, the bad, and the ugly.
What's up, males and females?
Welcome to the last edition of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Eric, and we sent out Blake Barrett to capture some of the best and worst moments from Mason sports. Alright, kicking it off with the good.
We have Noah Harrison in double overtime, cranking it back and firing it in for the win. Alright, and now with the bad.
We got a couple boys falling for each other, and then Max Brasi finishing it off with the rapturous hit.
And now with the ugly.
We've got a former track star switching sports mid-season and taking up a career in diving.
Thanks for joining us for our last edition of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. For the last time, I'm Ashley.
And I'm Eric.
Catch you on the flip side. Skirt, skirt.
Lots of times, hanging out with your friends can lead to making fun of each other.
But sometimes it's fun to turn the tables and laugh at yourself.
So Kaylie Connors hit the halls and asked you to roast yourself.
Urban Dictionary defines roasting as humorously humiliating someone with a well-timed joke, diss, or comeback. Chances are, you've probably been roasted. But have you ever thought, wow, they could be kind of right. So we asked you kids in the hall and the commons, roast yourself.
Boy, you're so short. You look like an Oompa Loompa. What are you doing here at the school? Why do people like you? Boy. Dude, what is with your hair?
Chris, you kind of suck at everything, and you're unathletic, and you look like a dad, and you look like you could be married with 2 kids and have a steady job with a steady income and a happy family, and then be like, psych, I could be mistaken for a dad with 4 children.
Hey man, you're so fake. I lay off McDonald's.
I like apples more than my GoPro.
I copy Millie in everything I do. You're definitely right.
I look like Billy the Goat.
I have a nose the size of a toucan's.
I could think of one if I had more than half a brain. You ugly.
I have a turf burn on my chin, right here.
Man, why I look like a Pillsbury Doughboy?
I make the Pillsbury Doughboy look like Ice Cube.
My shoes are more torn up than my social life.
I like being the only white person at the table.
I look like the cucumber from VeggieTales.
I'm 18 and I still eat off the kids menu everywhere I go.
I have eaten 4 golden retrievers.
I have 0 common sense whatsoever.
I say dumb stuff all the time.
I have really long, dirty hair.
Stop trying on all your eyebrows.
When I look into the mirror, it shatters. When I smell flowers, they wilt. When I stare into my own reflection in a pond, it evaporates.
Whether you resemble a dad or the Pillsbury Doughboy, we all have things we can make fun of ourselves for since we're not all #flawless. I'm a redheaded soul stealer, NBC News.
I hope you enjoyed the final MBC broadcast
for the 2016-2017 school year.
As the graduating seniors
From the Mason Broadcasting crew,
We owe you, Comic Country, our thank yous
and goodbyes.
Thank you, MHS staff,
for willingly showing your students our hard work.
Your cooperation
hasn't gone unnoticed.
Thank you to all students who support,
promote,
and watch every single broadcast.
Some for 4 whole years.
Mason High School is a quiet, interesting place
With something new to film every day.
Whether it be creepy stories about haunted schools,
students jumping out of airplanes,
answering goofy questions in the hallway,
or highlights of Mason's exceptional athletes.
Y'all are what make this happen.
As always, it's been a pleasure to bring you the news
of students making the news.
For the final time,
I'm Sharanya Vajala.
I'm Jeffrey Song.
I'm Maddie Clark.
I'm Melly Harpin.
I'm Mike Farber.
I'm Lakin Steedley.
I'm Josh Stewart. I'm Andy Thompson.
I'm Alyssa Brooks.
I'm Peyton Krell.
I'm Katherine Geiger.
I'm Kate Leathers.
I'm Megan Pottle.
I'm Hannah Kaylie.
MBC News. Thank you for joining us for this edition of MBC News. As always, we're committed to bringing you the news of students making the news.
Thank you to everyone who helped make this last broadcast what it is. We can't do it without the entire crew.
For everyone in front of and behind the camera, for the last time, I'm Melly Harpin.
And I'm Katherine Geiger. We'll miss you next year.